My name is Grant Gilliam, and I will be going through the significance of June 19th, 1865, and what it really truly means for our country. Juneteenth, Freedom Day, the true Emancipation Day, Black Independence Day. This day culminates the technical end of slavery in the United States. Now, I do say technical because the official day that slavery was decreed to end in the United States was when Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. So, at the end of the Civil War, in April 9th, 1865, slavery in the United States was supposed to come to a halt, but it didn't. Not for another 2 months. That's how long it took Union soldiers to go to many parts of Texas to make that happen. It was in Galveston, Texas, that the last set of slaves in that region would be liberated. That day was June 19th, 1865. After their disbelief in the news, the former slaves immediately began to celebrate with prayer, feasting, song, and dance. A year later, the first celebration of this event took place in Texas. And over the next few years, the tradition spread to many parts of the nation. So if we're being very honest with ourselves, we have to admit that this anniversary has been suppressed for many of us for a very long time. After Reconstruction and the introduction of Jim Crow laws that plagued the South, along with other systematic racial restrictions that had taken place all throughout our land, the true essence of freedom for many African Americans was tempered for decades to come. Couple that with the fact that little to none of our contributions as African Americans in this country were highlighted or told within the fabric of U.S. history. To many people, Juneteenth was just another casualty of events that were suppressed by those in power. For some African Americans, the knowledge of Juneteenth had lived on and was preserved down from generation to generation. But for many others, that sadly had not been the case. From my personal experience, Juneteenth was not an event that was talked about within my household, not my extended family, and it certainly was not brought up in my schooling in the South. During the period of discussing the Civil War, no mention was had. During the months of Black History Month, where our history was already watered down and incomplete, there was no mention of June 19th. Dare I say that this event was also excluded when I took an African American's history course in college. Despite the widespread educational depravity of our history still perseveres. The progression of truth continues to grow and spread throughout time and regions from those who possess that knowledge. Over the past few decades, we have all been re-educating ourselves with many stories of African American truths, events, tragedies, and accomplishments. We have been pushing the narrative to include our history within the history books of America because it is American history. To only tell one side of the story does not tell the whole truth. And without telling the whole truth, we run into danger of telling and learning lies. So with the reemergence of Juneteenth and of that emotional historical relevance that it serves for us, let us also continue to promote and educate ourselves to the rest of our rich history. And remember that too is American history. Thank you.